Hey, California Math and History, and we are going to take a look at closed economies. So what we're going to understand is understanding what happens in a closed economy and trying to get some ideas on what it is. So, you remember this formula from the last videos? Yes, this is the GDP formula. So, turns out GDP is going to equal the consumption of the nation plus the investment of the nation plus the government spending plus, and this is X minus M, exports, subtract that by imports. So, looks like there's GDP, this formula, when it comes to a country trading with each other. So let's review what boosts GDP. GDP can increase if the value increases of all the goods, you make production and you make more goods, or if you get more goods from other nations. So that would happen if the nation or the country was trading with other nations. But what if I tell you if we go a little bit out of the ordinary and say we got rid of this part of the formula? So no more trading. What we're going to do is close off the economy once and for all. So now we gotta understand is, by taking out the import and export out of the GDP formula, how do you understand this kind of economy? Well, if the country is only relying on the investment, the consumption, and the government spending, that is what we would call a closed economy. They would not want to do anything else but isolate themselves from the rest of the world. The reason why this happens is countries might have to focus on their production instead of spending money and goods from other countries. Maybe they have to boost their production first, or many other reasons. Some countries like North Korea is a famous country for being an isolated nation in terms of closed economies. They usually trade with China, but very, very rarely. I would say that they would be the most isolated nation on Earth, economically and socially. So what we got here is GDP equals consumption plus investments plus government spending. So now the country has to rely on its own goods and resources in order for this closed economy to be more successful. So, about that, there is another formula that we're going to introduce, and it's going to be about the investment. The reason why is about the nation's investment and about the nation's financial policies. The investment is going to be the same thing as savings, because since this right here is no longer here, and we got rid of it because we closed off the economy by trading other nations. So what the country invests in is going to equal how much they have, or aka your savings. So we're going to get into a new formula if you ever change this GDP formula up so you have investments, then investment would be going to be equal to the GDP or your income, subtract that by your consumption, and subtract that by the government spending. If you do all that, you get an investment. And in this case scenario, closed economies, your investment is saving because that's the only method you make an income on with money. And that's one of the only ways besides tax that the government can get instead of interacting with other nations. So these are the basics of a closed economy. And not only that, we understand what the formula is and why we got rid of this x minus m, and also understand why countries might do this. So I hope this video has helped you about understanding a closed economy, or closed economies. Thank you for watching Tao Ping Analyze the Math Industry. Like and subscribe.